So today's video is a fun arena kind of compilation that I put together using the Sylvan Watcher champions that we have on the test server. And it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this team. It's not meta, but it was really enjoyable. I thought you would get something out of it, especially seeing some of these newer champions in an area where maybe they're not even mainly designed for, but can still be useful. And I think can give you a good idea of whether you want these champions or not. And it's apropos that I released this video today because, of course, we have guaranteed summons events for both Duedan, the Runic, as well as White Dryad Nia. And I'm really excited about both of these champions. They're two of my favorite epics on the test server. They're definitely champions that I want on my account. I generally pull enough shards where I don't have to pull specifically for an epic champion, but I'm probably going to be doing that anyway. They are running concurrent with a 10x event during CVC, so it does kind of work within the systems that are already in place, but I really like both these champions. I believe it's 30 Void Shards for White Dryad Nia and 40 Ancient Shards to get Duedan and the Runic. And I think if you have those shards, this is not a bad idea to pull these champions for that. On top of that, I'm using them in Arena in this video. They're definitely better in other areas of the game, especially places like Hydra. So I feel like these are champions that are going to give you a lot of usage in this game. Unfortunately, I haven't done a spotlight video on either of them yet, so I can't show you that, but I thought this would be a good indication to give you guys a chance to see them in action in a way that you might not normally. Welcome, I'm the Deadwood Jedi. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video, and I thought today we would look on the test server and examine some of these new champions, but we're going to bring them into Arena. Basically, I built an Arena team using all of these, not all the new champions necessarily, but definitely 4 of the champions from the Sylvan Warden. And I think it's actually a pretty cool team. Obviously, it's not going to be top tier team, but I think you can use this team that I'm building here and showing you guys and get pretty good results with it. I definitely did. Obviously, the key to this, the one that everybody's been talking about is Allele. Allele, I don't know, whatever his name is. But this guy is an incredibly good champion, but it's kind of limited. And I think we got to recognize how he's going to be best used. I don't think he's, super top tier. He's not going to beat Trunda out or Hefrak or, even a Magnar necessarily for damage. But I think he has an incredibly cool kit that can be really useful depending where you use him. And I think he's going to be really optimal in a go second style team for Arena. Now, is he going to be game changing? No, but I have been testing against some of the other, Arena teams that the other CCs have put out, and these are generally plat level teams. Now, I can't take down the top teams with I couldn't take down the top teams with my best champions anyway, or my best gear, but I have been able to take down a fair amount of teams, way more than I would have expected with this squad, and that tells me that there is definitely some potential here for this team. It's not going to be top tier, obviously, but it is going to be competitive, and I think that's something that we can all take away from. And so we're going to be looking at 4 of these champions in this team, and you should get a pretty good idea of how this could work and maybe how these champions could fit into your team. I really appreciate you coming by to watch this video. And if you enjoy it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below, the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. And of course, if you enjoyed today's music, we have that Soundstripe link down below in the pinned comment description of this video, along with my code Deadwood Jedi to save yourself 15%. And of course, if you're looking for account work, you can find that on my website, deadwoodjedi.com. All right, so this is the defense that I've set up. I'm using this exact same team for offense. So you're going to be able to see exactly who I'm using here. We have Elva Autumnborn. We have her little speed aura in the lead, although we're not going fast. So I don't even know that we necessarily need it, but as always, more speed's generally better. So I felt like that wouldn't hurt us, but she's doing amazing stuff in this game. She's basically like Duchess Light. She's going to give you that cleanse with the block debuff on. She heals everybody. She's a really good addition for an Arena team, I think. Then we have Allele. Obviously, he's our damage dealer. Now, his kit is so unique that by using his A1, we're able to steal enemy buffs. His A3 blocks buffs and prevents them being put back on. And then his A2 can come in and single target hit pretty darn hard if there are some buffs that we just can't take care of. So he's got some actually decent stuff in his kit. Obviously, there's some things I would prefer with his kit, right? So it's not perfect, but it is solid enough that I think we can get away with this. And then we have White Dryad Nia, and she's actually extremely good. I'm finding her really fun to use, and I'm actually really excited to see where we can utilize her in other areas of this game. Not only does she have a really nice ally protection, which, I mean, that's nothing crazy, right? Ally protection and the small strength and buff, nothing to write home about. But that A2 ability, able to cleanse debuffs, heal an ally, and reset their cooldowns. I'm actually using her in a lot of ways like I would a Kymar to reset Allele's skills so he can do his nukes multiple times in a row. It's very effective, actually. And then we have Duedan, Duedan the Runic. That's what I'm gonna go with. Duedan the Runic. And I'm using him with his taunt ability, his counterattack ability, and I built him in a full frost set, which is actually kind of fun. It's not perfect, right? But I have a frost set and a freeze set on him, so he's doing a pretty good job of freezing the enemy when it comes around. But mostly he's there to help let White Dryad Nia survive by having, Bulwark Mastery on and just absorbing some of that damage as well. And that taunt helps to distract some of the damage that would normally be going to my weaker champions like Allele or Elva and helping keep them alive. So he's doing a really good job of that. And I'm actually finding taunt to not be a bad choice here. It's still not great, but with a lot of the arena defenses focused with single target damage dealers, champions like Rhodos, champions like Mountain King, or who is it? Candrafon. Duedan's, like, having that taunt out there isn't a bad thing at all. And I actually kind of like him better for this than I do the Runic Warder. I don't know why, but I really like him a lot better than that for this. So it's kind of an interesting kit, interesting team, and it works pretty darn good. So we're going to go through, I'm going to pick a few of the other CC teams and go against them. I'm only going to show you the successes because obviously this isn't a perfect team. And you're going to be able to see that pretty clearly. This is not a fast runs. We don't like, this is not a farming style team. But it does show, I think, how this team can be good when used as a defense or even a slow go second style team for arena, maybe even for 3v3. I think that these champions have a lot of potential in this game for arena, and so I'm going to kind of show some of the successes so you guys can get an idea of how they work. So this is Ivy Lee's team. We're going to go here against it. There is a Hegemon there, but hopefully with Elva, I do have her in Stone Skin, it won't be a problem for us. So we'll see if this can work for us here. And we start now. I'm going to go ahead and manual this just to make sure everything works the way I want it to. Now, this is a great part about Elva. She cleanses everybody, block debuff, and we get that speed boost, which is very nice. Keep us going. Obviously, we died already. Not a great start, but that's okay because Elva does have that revive. We got the ally protection. We can throw our taunt out here, and this will help make sure that, the champions that are being targeted is going to be the Duedan, and I think that's a good person to have, especially with the ally protection on him. The strength and buff he gives himself, it's actually not a bad champion to have that happen to. It works really well. Now we can go ahead and heal, and we can actually go ahead and reset his cooldown so we can get that taunt out again, which is great. Now, one of the things I'm going to check, do they have block debuffs? They do, so I'm not going to use the A3 off the start, actually, which I know might seem a little bit odd. We're going to start with the A1, and I'm going to target right here and steal all these buffs. And because we don't need accuracy, it's just a wonderful way to go about stealing it. I'm not sure why we couldn't steal Stone Skin there. It seems like that's something that we should be able to steal, but that's fine, right? We're able to come in and take the buffs away from the enemy, and that's just a really nice place to begin. Now we can go ahead and get the taunt out one more time and keep the enemy focused on us, which is ideal for us, I think. Again, we can come in. Now we can steal more buffs if we want to. So I could steal the buffs here. All right, target got changed. It's interesting that we still can steal the buffs though. That seems like that's a bit of a bug. So this guy obviously still has some things that need to be worked out a little bit in his kinks. But you can see Ultimate Death Knight there stole the targeting, which kind of avoided the buffs being stolen. Now, I mean, you can see Duedan, the White Dryad Nia, they're just doing a fabulous job of keeping everybody in really good stead here. And I just really like that. Now, okay, I think one thing, the problem with the block, this skill is so nice. It would take all those increased defenses and turn them into, decreased defense, which would be great. But unfortunately, with that block debuff out there, it's considerably less good. We're gonna go and steal this from, God, stupid Ultimate Death Knight. Okay. Unfortunately, I can't do anything. The single target stuff, he's being a bit of a pain. So maybe we'll have to go with the A3 skill here. That's fine. We can do that. There you go. Boom. We're surviving these big hits. It's not going to be a problem. All right. Let's try it. Keep going. All right. So we'll just come in here. Boom. Look at that. Big hit, right? I do have him in Savage. Hits hard. Remove that increased defense debuff. Or increased defense buff, I should say. And that was really good. And now I think we're going to have to just target him. And see if we can't kill him down. We'll bust that A2 out here and see if we can't take Ultimate Death Knight. Not quite. It's unfortunate. We'll go ahead and reset those skills right there so you can get another go at it. You can come back, probably come back in with that AoE one more time. Get the taunt going. Boom. Boom, another big hit. That's good. Now if we can... The only issue with this team is we don't have any other damage dealers, so that definitely limits what we can do with this. But I think you guys can see it's still pretty darn effective here. And so it's not a fast team. It's not the best team in the world. But obviously it has some potential to it. All right, did big chunk off Ultimate Death Knight there. That's kind of what we're aiming for. Really want to try and kill him if we can. This might be one of those fights that's just kind of stagnant all the way across here. No winners, no losers. Hit him there with that A1. I do want to kill him. There's some things I would like to test and see if we can steal that A1. It's obviously not how I wanted to start things off. It's a very slow approach, but it's okay. Bring him back. Boom. Good cleanse. Let's hit him again. And we turned into a sheep for some reason, so that was weird. There's so many so many new things in this game, from the blessings to everything else to the new skills. It's so hard to tell what's working, what's not sometimes. Yeah, well, we're a sheep still. Cool. That was lame. This is an interesting bug. All right, that was like 10 minutes long, but we did get through it. Finally killed him, so great choice there. So glad we used him. We could try YST here, see if that works. So one of the things I like to do is actually open with the A1 and steal the buffs that have already been put on. That makes everything else considerably easier. So as long as we can survive their initial hit with the ally protection and things like that and the taunt, it usually works out okay. At least, you know, that's my recent experience here. But we'll see here. Now, one of the things, I kind of want to let that block debuff wear off, and that way we can get decreased defense out. But that A2 is going to ignore the increased defense. It's going to ignore that ally protection. And so it is not a terrible skill here, but it's just slow. It's not a super fast team, right? That's the only difficulty with this, really. Actually, yeah, wait. Back. Shield up. And now we can strip all those. Look at that. Decreased defense goes out. Pretty nice. She'll reset his skills. He can protect us again. And then he's going to go ahead and hopefully block buffs. Oh, I guess not. No, that's unfortunate. But even if she's able to revive, they're all pretty damaged. So as long as he gets another turn, we should be in good shape. And then we have that protection there. It's a pretty fun little squad. It's not perfect, but it works. Now she's dead. We have Stone Skin. Pull the taunt out. Draw their fire. Here we can steal a bunch of buffs, so let's go ahead and steal his, because why not? Another one down. Go ahead and hit them. Put our Suga on the ground. And that's it. Game, set, and match. So, you know, it's doable. It's not fast. It was like 3 minutes long there, but definitely doable. The approach isn't horrible, and it's an approach to kill these teams. I find it actually pretty cool to be able to do it right. Okay, so this is the team that we have, right? We've got Elva Autumnborn, who's just kind of ridiculous. You can see nobody's really fast. I have some resistance on her, but like, you know, against the people I'm facing, not nearly enough. We've got Alil. I think he's built about as good as I can. I don't have great accessories, which definitely limits the amount of attack I can put on him. But we do have almost 6,000 attack with 265 crit damage. It's pretty sizable there. 180 speed. Probably actually want to slow him down a little bit. It's not super speed tuned. He's getting some mastery procs that are boosting him faster than Nia there, which is a bit of a problem. But in general, really good. Then we have Duedan the Runic. I don't have great Frost and Freeze sets, so it's not exactly the best build in the world. A lot more defense and less HP than I would necessarily like. It's HP-based champion, so I'd prefer to boost his HP, but is what it is. I didn't also build him for damage, right? And I'm not sure if he's a really strong damage dealer. Everything I've seen doesn't really appear that way, so I didn't do that. Even with the counterattack, didn't seem like it was going to be really worth it, so I built him to survive, which he did, and I thought it was pretty effective. We got White Dryad Nia. Obviously, she's really tanky, a lot of HP on her. I think the bolster sets on her, excuse me, and then she's really good. So, like, I've been very impressed with her, with both the ally protection and the cooldown ability. I find both of them actually be really, really helpful. And so I'm sure she's going to be used in a lot of areas of this game. I'm actually excited to test her in a few different things. So, this is kind of the team that I used, and I found it to be pretty effective. So why did I show you these very slow arena runs with these kind of, mediocre sort of team here? Well, it's just kind of to see that, look, even though these new champions are coming out and there's like pros and there's cons to them, don't discount these champions entirely. Like, Alil can work for you. He's not going to be great. He's just not. His multipliers aren't high enough to make him hit as hard as many of the other nukers in this game. But if you don't have other options, I definitely think he can be useful. And also, as we see, is some usage for him in this game. Like, he's not going to be on every team, and you might not see him at all in Plat Arena, but I definitely feel like you can make some interesting builds with a champion like that. White Dryad Nia, Dia, obviously she's got some real utility here, right? Not only with the ally protection, but also with the single target cooldown ability. That was actually pretty powerful when paired with a champion like Alil. So there's definitely some positives. Elva we know is good. Duedan with the taunt was way more effective than I thought he was going to be. But, there is some setup there. We had to bring in an ally protection champion. We had to bring in some healing from Elva just in order to make sure he stayed alive even when he was being targeted. So again, I'm not a huge fan of the taunt skill, but there are ways to utilize it, I think, for Arena. So that's kind of what I wanted to show, just something a little bit different outside of my wheelhouse a bit, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Until next we meet, I'm the Deadwood Jedi.